This conference will now be recorded.
I don't believe we have any amendments, do we, Kim?
No.
I just need approval of adoption of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0-0. Just need approval of the minutes from April 21st, 2022. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0-0. Accounts payable, Horvath.
A couple big ones there. 77312, the $30,000 that's for the roof at the fire department. It's just a pass through until we're reimbursed from the fire board. And then if you scroll down to 77329, that's the half down for the computer software system in the amount of $36,884. Yeah, just asking for the approval of $96,050.51.
I'll second that.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0-0. Thanks, Horvath. Public comments. Individuals may address the city council about any item of concern. Speaker must state their name and limit their remarks to 5 minutes. Public comments. I will close public comments portion and we'll jump to new business 8A. Ordinance 2022-01, an ordinance regulating specifications of cross connections of backflow prevention for portable water systems. Mike.
Yes, so city staff has been working on this ordinance for a while now. It comes with, from the Department of Health, they're requiring this. And we're getting, obviously with all the new houses in, we're getting a lot more irrigation systems, which is one of the big factors in putting in backflow preventers. But I'll just read a little bit. City of Zumbrota Water Department is responsible for the safety and potability of water delivered to all of its customers. In response to the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act, groundwater rule, and documented incidences in Minnesota, the Minnesota Department of Health classified high hazard cross connections that are not adequately protected as a significant deficiency for all community public water systems. In response to this, the Minnesota Department of Health is requiring all community public water systems to continue to require significant deficient compliance for high hazard cross connections, and will follow this through city ordinance. City of Zumbrota also must use the Minnesota Plumbing Code as this criterion for the proper installation and maintenance of plumbing systems, and requires that there be an ongoing testing program for all testable backflow devices. So there's kind of a lot of different pieces with this. The Department of Labor gets involved with the plumbing, so they have to have a licensed plumber install these, and then they're going to be tested annually, and then we'll have to keep record of all the testing. So the other part of this is we've kind of produced a program, lawn and sprinkler irrigation program along with this, and that's mostly for as they come in, and Roger and Casey Paul have worked with us, and we got a permit for installation of these. So it's just a way of us to track them a lot easier. But the ordinance itself, that's pretty straightforward. So
Is that new construction, Mike? They have to do them, or?
we have to go back to 2016, and anybody from 2016 forward will have to contact them, notify them, and they'll have to install. What's the average cost for the person that's had sprinklers installed to get a new meter installed?
Oh,
Majority of sprinkler systems in town have already installed a new meter, additional meter, because it's so much more cost effective. We recommend it. It pays itself off in approximately a year or two of seasons of watering, because otherwise they have to pay sewer charge on it.
Yeah,
if they-
'cause they don't-
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, so
reading that in there.
that I think is just a wise
Okay,
move.
I'm just,
Yep.
I know that there's gonna be pushback for the people that didn't have the meters, so I'm just wondering.
So there's like it's a flat fee of $50 for the permit. And if they already have a system in place, it's not, but if they don't and they are working in the right of way, it'll be a right of way fee plus water meters are $340.
So anyone past 2016 or prior to that is not grandfathered in?
Correct.
Or is grandfathered?
Is grandfathered in.
You don't have to comply?
And it's not necessarily grandfathered. We said in a meeting, I don't know if Matt remembers, just the other day with this gentleman, and it's just the type of device that isn't, that they would have used back then, was from my understanding, that wasn't necessarily a problem for some reason.
So they still have to have something in place, or they don't need
They
anything?
don't.
Are we just going to 16, because that's when all the energy updates and everything was? Or?
I'm going there because that's what the Department of Health tells me I have to do. I'm not sure where that date comes from.
Okay. And that $50 permit fee, seems that will that take care of the cost of the annually checking all this, or not really?
No, so it's a homeowner's responsibility, once they have those in place, they have to hire somebody to test them.
Yep.
And I think that gentleman said he's heard anywhere from $85 to a couple $100 to have them tested, depending on who you get to test them. The $50 really is to cover Roger and Casey's cost, I would assume, right? Kim covers their cost on, paperwork and stuff on the top. And they have to have a regular permit for their pump, If you go to install it, they need a plumbing permit besides this permit for lawn and sprinkler irrigation permits.
I guess it's pretty much mandated by the state that we do this.
Is there anything you want to add, Matt?
One comment he had on the backflow testing was some of the costs of contractors were a little bit steeper. So one city in the Twin Cities area got at least a few of their staff members trained and certified to do it themselves, and the city offered that service at much cheaper cost. The last thing the department needs is another burden on you, right?
Right.
That was one of these comments. The other thing is, now this is strictly on publishing this. This is how many pages, this first ordinance. A lot of times with lengthy ordinances, we'll do a summary publication that just kind of condenses it and says, hey, if you want to see the entirety, or ordinance in its entirety, you've got a copy of City Hall, or you can get it online. So I did draft a summary ordinance this morning and emailed it out, but the summary statute says it needs 4/5 council approval, so might have to wait till the next meeting to approve that if we want to save a little bit of cost on publishing it in paper.
And I guess what are other cities doing for inspection? Is it every year?
That's a requirement.
Does
And we have our own backflow preventers within the city. We have them at the pool. We have them at the wastewater plant. I think Fire Hall might have, but we have to do we hire somebody to do annual tests on those as well. So the industrial ones and the commercial ones that I get now, they just automatically pop up every year. And Kim will have to help me with this, because with that new financial program, we're gonna be able to track these a little bit too that way, and they'll pop up and give me times when these are supposed to be tested, and then we can send out notices for tests. And also notices if they're not getting their test in, and then we can send out, that's part of the penalty part of the ordinance that we'll be sending out ordinances too if they don't follow this. And if I'm not mistaken, Matt, we're kind of following the League of Minnesota ordinance that they had a model ordinance. That's where we took the ordinance from.
The nice thing about the using it with the software is that it'll actually go on the original property record for their water system, and that will stay with that property forever. So we weren't going to have to worry about changing an Excel spreadsheet and maybe missing something. As soon as the billing's changed, it'll all change over to the next owner. So it should offer us the ability to stay on top of those things, hopefully.
So Matt, do we need to wait, do you want us to wait the next council approval because of the 4/5?
You could approve this, and since we got only 3 here, it has to be unanimous. But then if we want to hold off publishing it until the next meeting and publish the summary, I guess that's up to you, Brian, maybe.
Whatever is easier. I mean,
I don't know what it would cost to publish this, but I remember the last administrator was always like, yes, let's do the summary.
Yeah, that'd be significant.
I mean, that'll be 7 pages.
So you could
I
approve,
would-
if you wanted to approve this now, then that's fine, it's been approved, but it's not, we hold off on publication until after the next meeting if the summary is approved.
Or you can table it.
My only question or concern is just the standpoint, and the only reason with what I do is that I think Rochester does not inspect theirs yearly. And if that's the case, I do not get a couple of my properties done yearly, so I mean, so
Well,
I think that's
actually within the Department of Health.
they want that done yearly.
That's mandated. There's documentation for that.
I mean, and I guess the only thing I look at that question as a fee for a homeowner to get $100, $200 inspection every year. I guess that if we can push it off to 3 years, I mean, I'm more appetizing on that. But I mean, if that's what Department of Health says, that's what the Department of Health says. I just think we're going to get a little bucking from the public.
I can show you that. I mean, I got the documentation here.
And it would just be interesting to see if Rochester is that way, if it is a yearly, because it doesn't. I mean, to have a public or a homeowner do it every year for $100, $200 is.
So that is in the fact sheets from Minnesota Plumbing Code that the owner of the backflow prevention device is responsible for making sure the backflow device is tested upon installation at least annually thereafter. The homeowner is responsible for arranging for a backflow device tester to test device at least annually.
And do we have a quote, an actual verbal quote from a plumber saying it's $80 to $200 or what? I mean, I don't know what it entails because I mean, the properties that I've done, it's just been scheduled from the property owner.
And the reason we don't is because it's fairly new. You know, this is all new for us, and that's just the home. I mean, the homeowners are going to have to deal with that. They're going to have to get their own plumb. They're going to have to find somebody who they're comfortable with doing that.
And I think it could be an accounting nightmare on Kim's side, software or not, that sending these notices out, people come in and complaining, people not doing them.
Yeah, and that's what the ordinance is
Yeah,
for.
so I mean,
So when someone comes in and applies for this, or wants to start this process, are they gonna have this whole packet given to them?
Yep, I'm going to make that available. We're going to dress that up yet. It's just what I call a program, lawn sprinkler irrigation program. It's geared, so really, it's anybody who has RPZs that are going to have these tested, you know. I'm calling a lawn and sprinkler irrigation and for the program because that's really more geared towards that. But we have to include all of it. You know, anybody who has that significant deficiency where they're going to require a backflow preventer, you know, there's other instances, I guess, but I can't name anything. The sprinkler systems are the big thing. You know, I know even your fire suppression systems, that's just a big thing for backflow preventers, but
See, and I understand why they do that, because you can hook up chemicals and as your sprinkler spraying for insects or spraying for your weed control. If we don't have that, that gets into the system, it can contaminate the city, and then we have a whole different problem. So I understand that. I'm just concerned about the price for the homeowner getting it inspected yearly.
Well,
Isn't that another state mandate that?
Yeah, it's gonna hit everybody. I mean, it's gotta be done at some point. I understand that. But I hear what you're saying. There's gonna be a lot of pushback and, we'll get a lot of people through the door, I'm guessing.
It's another state mandate that they dump on the local government unit. And it's gonna add more burden to the city, more burden to the consumer, the customer, and then, right, so the city of Rochester isn't following through on this. The question is if it's too much of a burden on everybody down on this level, what's the state gonna do? They just gonna let things slide. I don't know how they'll respond. Or will they be asking for updates every year? Well, where's your proof of inspection? I don't know.
I mean, I just think we can approve it and address the issue if it becomes an issue down the road.
Be changed once we,
We can always change an ordinance.
I suppose.
I mean, RPU carries the same thing, but if they're not if they're not following up on the testing portion of it, I guess I don't know.
I mean, and some of the properties I have 7, 8 buildings with 7, 8 different backflows. And if it's $80 a pop, now you're talking $600, $700. I mean, I obviously don't get that part, so I don't see the financials, so I mean, but.
So I think in general, I think the gentleman that tests ours, I think he's right around 100 and a quarter for testing our backflow preventers. But ours are commercial, so I don't know what to get for residential. Ours are commercial grade too. They're 2-inch or bigger.
I think unfortunately it's one of those things that falls into, and I hate to say it this way, but a luxury. Having a sprinkler system is not something you have to do, and it is an access point into the public water system. So that's why they're guarding it. And I guess to put it in perspective, people who have pools that fill their pools, if they don't have a second meter, they have to pay sewer charge on it. We don't write off their sewer charge. Kind of a similar thing. They have to do that. They do that yearly. I think we've had to have that same explanation for watering meters. People will call and say, well, I didn't use my water meter. Why should I have to pay the minimum? Well, we turn them all on at the same time and you pay the minimum, and we turn them all off at the same time, and it doesn't matter. So we're used to getting pushback on that portion of it at least. And I think the fact that we can lean back and say, we didn't make this rule. This is from the state of Minnesota, the Pollution Control Agency. That helps staff to be able to, say it's not our choice. So contact your legislator.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-01.
Second it.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Passes 300. Thanks, Mike. 8B, ordinance 2022-02 and ordinance amending Zumbrota City Code, Chapter 52. Mike?
Adding the sprinkler system we're going to require them to get a second meter. I think it makes things, hopefully that clears things up for people, kind of what Kim was alluding to. If they don't have that second meter, then they're paying sewer on all that. Plus, it's another way for us to kind of track all where these sprinkler lines and stuff are. So if they're coming in to get a meter, we got we can kind of keep an eye on it, and if they say they're putting in a sprinkler system, then we can push that other information out to them. So it's kind of twofold. We don't get a lot of pushback from them because they're using all this water and paying sewer on it when they say they're only using the water. So that'll help with that.
Like you said, in a couple of months or a couple of years, it'll pay for it. It's a steep bill up front, but in the long run, I mean, that's a no-brainer to me.
It can pay itself off in the summer if they're heavy waters.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-02.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 300. Thanks again, Mike. Zimba Block Party Road Closure Report. Did I say it wrong? God, dang, I even thought about it. Ziba. Sorry. I even paused and thought about it. Ziba Block Party Road Closure Report. I assume it's Dylan.
Yep. So in your packet, you have a memo and a map from Ziba, not Zimba, for their second annual block party. The request is essentially the same thing they put in last year, to close the road from 1 to 10 p.m. It's the road between Main and the alleyway of the bank, downtown bank. So between Dwell and the Wild Ginger building. They've requested again that a police officer assist with pedestrian crossing on Main Street, and request that they could use Public Works orange cones if we have them for street closures at both ends. On, what is it, the date here? There's no date in Brian's thing.
June 2nd.
June 2nd, there we go. I was looking at the memo.
I think they also requested Tony to direct traffic.
I
I
believe
think he
it.
was requested.
Yeah, I think
actually.
he was requested, so we'll do our best. I think, well, that's not his day to work. So, well, Rick,
I think
you're
it's
directing
Tyler's.
traffic.
think it's me.
There you go.
The request for road closure on June 2nd from 1 to 10 p.m. of a half a block of 3rd Street West.
Good with having an officer down there?
Well, we can accommodate that. Who, I can't guarantee though.
I'll go ahead and request that the road is closed for Thursday, June 2nd. The section of 3rd Street West from Main Street to the alley there from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m.
I'll second that.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0-0. Thanks, Dylan. 8D, additional police cell phones. Chief.
So, yeah, I put in a memo in regards to adding to our cell phone count. We have 4 of them currently. We need a total of 7. So we're asking for 3 additional ones. Our phones are being increasingly used for our jobs, and I don't want staff utilizing their personal cell phones for taking photographs of crime scenes and utilizing apps that we have to use in order to gain access to secure servers. And that's how most of us do end up gaining access, because we can't guarantee that we have our shared phone, because it often finds its way into someone's dresser when they go to sleep. So this is something me and Brian have been talking about for about a year, eventually getting to that point to where each officer is assigned their own phone. And then it also helps with communication. They can set it up that way, the way they want, and access their email wherever they're at and so forth, and not depend on sharing a squad phone. So that's the purpose.
So basically adding 3 phones for every officer has their own.
Correct. Adding 3 will assure everyone gets their own phone, and it's, we get a pretty good rate on unlimited service as a police entity. So I think it's well worth it,
Something we should have done a long time ago.
probably.
So that's going to be $105 a month for the additional phones. Is that going to be okay in the police budget?
It's not in the budget for this year. We'll have to build it in for next year, and they'll have to maybe adjust some of their other categories depending on what we budget.
Yep, I agree. They should all have their own phones.
I'll make that motion to approve the 3 extra phones for the police department.
I'll second it.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0-0. Thanks, Chief. 8E, 2022 liquor license renewals.
Yep.
Kim.
I have a correction to the memo, and Bob brought it to my attention. Thank you. And I have Bob and Chris switched around, I realize. Value Liquor should be an off-sale liquor license. They sell both beer and liquor there, so.
I'll make the motion to approve those licenses.
And I will second it.
We haven't had any problems with any of these locations, chief?
We have not.
Okay. Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 300. Thanks, Kim. 8F, 2022 mill and overlay. Mike.
I put together a project for this week, one over there, with the library lot, the alley between Fourth and Third, and Stratford Drive, the loop on Stratford Drive, up in the Woodland Edition. The total cost, I have bids from S&L Contracting and from Rochester Sand and Gravel. The bid from S&L Contracting, the VFW Memorial driveway and parking lot is removed from that for their total price of $137,809. And then Sand and Gravel's price for the same area was $136,049.25. So it's my recommendation, the staff recommendation to purchase the Sand and Gravel's. The Veterans Memorial will be included in and when that time comes, and those prices from Sand and Gravel, they're working with their management to see what they can donate towards that Veterans Memorial paving too. So that total price that they have won't be that when the time comes. They're going to donate some of their time to that.
What have you seen an increase from last year to this year for these services? I mean, I see they broke it down to a unit price. I mean, do you remember? I mean, is it obviously probably higher, but
I'd have to, it's definitely higher, and I'd have to go back and
Okay.
look at that.
if you can just shoot me, I'd just be interested to see what that is.
There was discussion with the city and the library about who was paying for that. Has that been discussed or sharing or?
Yeah, no, but the city decided since James Strong armed us.
The amount on the lot came in, I think, significantly higher than we anticipated.
He's got some sidewalks.
Yeah, so I think we just decided that, my understanding that the city decided to take care of the lot, and then we would just put the sidewalks in.
Plus, I think it gets used as much in the public parking lot as.
And in reality, it comes out of the same, I mean, it's all levied funds, so.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the mill and overlay project approved for Rochester Sand and Gravel in the amount of $136,049.25.
Second that.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 300. Thanks, Mike, again. 8G, lawnmower purchase. Mike?
I have two quotes to replace the 2007 or 2016 Gravely lawnmower on this Rotomeyers and Goodyear and the other one's Durlox, I believe. Prices are, the Durlock was $8,999. The price for Rotomeyers was $7,800. That was giving, Rotomeyers was giving us a $4,200 trade-in on the Gravely.
Is that about your average cycle time for mower, about 6-7 years?
I was explaining to somebody, if we mowed 12 courses or something, it'd probably be all right, but we mowed on the pasture. As far as I'm concerned, it's pretty tough. The lawns are pretty tough. Plus, we're getting a little, the trade-in to me looks pretty good. I think we'll be able to have a little value in what we're getting back out of these trade-ins.
How many hours does that Gravely have, do you know?
I think it's close to 2,000.
It's run its life.
Make the motion to approve the new lawnmower purchase from Rotomeyers for $7,800.
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 300. Thanks, Mike. 8H, public works truck rental. Mike?
We've been short a truck for some time, and I think I explained at one of the last meetings that the program that we get our trucks through is still going on, where we purchase the one truck and then we get a new truck every year. That program is still there, they just don't have the trucks. And we're gonna have a busy summer, thought it was probably a good idea to have an extra truck in, just to rent. I think this fall they're hoping to get that other truck for the purchase of that other truck for this fall. Ronnie's truck is still, that one truck is still on schedule to replace, but should be coming this spring. And again, that's at no cost. That second truck is no cost except for
Transfer and
transfer.
And this truck will do what you need it to for now, for the summer.
For the summer.
Yeah.
There dollars for that, or, I know it's only.
It'll go out of the capital equipment fund. So there's money for it. I mean, it'll just be a reduction in their cash balance.
Are they pretty confident that that program will be, their vehicles available this fall?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve that truck rental from Route 58 Motors there.
I'll second that.
any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 300. Thanks, Mike. Reports. Kim?
Field work from the audit was completed last week. And today I spent a couple hours on the phone with our new software people, starting to get our stuff set up. We're anticipating an October, November implementation phase. We're going to be phasing things in kind of slowly with the payroll system as far as we can access everything with apps. But it's on schedule. They're about, 5 months out. So we'll be starting to send data to them, and they're going to start converting stuff. And
Perfect.
we're on track.
Is that it?
Mhm.
Thank you. Chief?
I got nothing tonight.
Dylan?
Yeah, so last Tuesday, April 26th, we had right here in this room our marketing presentation. It was sponsored by the Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation and CETA. The topic was social media and digital marketing. We had a turnout from places like Ziba. There were some representatives, business owners from Northfield and Wabasha that came down and saw a pretty neat presentation. Other than that, today I visited Cannon Falls Chamber of Commerce. They had their 42nd annual luncheon. They had a couple presenters from everybody from Barb Haley to, I want to say, somebody from Deed. It was pretty neat luncheon. I got to meet Neil. He was up there too. So that's it from me.
Thanks, Dylan. James?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Mike?
We just had our Jefferson Drive PMP meeting. I think the way everything is set in place, again, I think we were told last meeting that bid opening will be May 18th. And that'll be coming back to you guys on the 19th for approval. But everything's in place for the drive all the way up to those open bids now.
Perfect. Is that it, Mike? Thank you. I have nothing. Horvath?
I have nothing.
Priggy?
Nothing tonight.
Meeting adjourned.
Get out of here.
I am. I'm out of here.
Get thyself out. You can come back and sign or do anything you gotta do.